Alright guys, today we're going to show you our new 331 cubic inch Modular 5.4 liter. It's 4 valve per cylinder, dual overhead cam, and it's got a ton of features. This particular engine is going in a car called Code Red. I want to point out a couple of things that we've done. So here we go. So obviously this is a twin turbocharged 5.4. We've got a water to air intercooler. We've taken 4 intercooler cores, the size of what the original GT500 intercooler core was. So we've got 4 times the intercooling that we normally would get on the normal GT500. It's water to air intercooled. We've made our own completely from scratch billet intake, which has got the octane on demand setup on it. It's got dual injector per cylinder. The throttle linkage is built in. All the sensors are built in. It's got the fuel regulation built in into the intake. We've got our anteater snout that mounts the 2 blow-off valves on it. We've done all it's got water-cooled ball bearing turbochargers. We've done all the plumbing in stainless hardline on this. We've made some custom valve covers that have the Shelby logo on it. We've done our NRE turbo headers, which really are special because we've done a 3/4 inch stainless flange that's fully CNC ported from a 4 valve to a round. It also has a 4-to-1 billet collector that interlocks with what I like to call the rocket ship turbo transition that has a billet wastegate mount on it. So there's no welds on any part of that. So there's no cracking that's ever going to happen at the wastegate or on the collector. It's all V-band, so you can go clockwise, counterclockwise with the turbocharger if you need to rotate them. We've got a custom designed one-off billet pan that we worked with Aviad on. It's got 5 scavenges in the pan. We use 2 for turbo drainbacks, 3 for scavenging in the pan. So we've done something totally different. Is rather than going like with the factory where you got 1 scavenge, we've got 3 scavenges in the pan and then 1 pressure section. So it's super high performance oil system where the pan was been designed one-off. We've got a custom pump, and then we've designed a very custom harmonic damper that has the cog drive built into the damper. We've changed the ignition tooth count on the mag pickup from 36 to 60, so we almost doubled the resolution on the ignition timing, and we've also degreed the damper a full 360 on the damper. There's so many things on this engine. We developed over 150 pieces for this engine. Almost 2 years it took us to design this engine. It's just a crazy undertaking. All the air inlets are V-band, the exhaust is V-band, the wastegates are V-band, the blow-off V-band, no gaskets in the motor there. I want to kind of show you some of the trickness. Now this is the stainless header flange that we're using on this. You can see that this is almost 1 inch thick, and we register the pipe on this counter bore. And then we CNC port the exhaust port into the round, so it has a nice transition. So it's going to stay flat, it's going to perform well, and it's just not going to warp. So that's part of the header flange. Basically, this is the 4-to-1 collector off of it, right here. Basically, this transitions into this billet turbo transition. Basically, and that's, you're looking at that part there, although this gate attachment is a little different. But, an all billet part right here, no welds on it, and that's where you usually break the header, is at the wastegate attachment or at the collector. So it just shows how nice some of these pieces are. Okay, right now this motor on the dyno has capability of making over 1,500 horsepower. It makes 1,112 horsepower to the tire at a relatively low boost, and that's probably where we'll leave it at for this package. But 1,500 horsepower is not out of the question. And in high gear, when we tested it in the car, we could smell the clutch smoking, even with the twin disc clutch. So we had This clutch specifically made for us by a company called RPS. It's a triple disc carbon on carbon, patented, and it comes with a flywheel. And I just want to show you just how insane this clutch is. This whole package is engineered. It's not just the engine it's not just a bolt-on in the engine. It's an engineered system. We have a twin Ron Davis radiator that we went through all sorts of testing on. We've increased the pulley ratios to increase the water speed in the engine. Comes with a Tranzilla 6-speed, has a quick time scatter shield, has a custom drive shaft, Curry 9-inch, 31 spline axles, all Shelby suspension, upgraded brakes, 10-point cage. This car is business. But let's go back to the clutch and take a look at the insides of this clutch. So it's got a billet hat, and then the discs are carbon on carbon, which Rob has patented the deal. We've got the billet hat off. I want to show you the actual disc assembly in this thing. Now again, this is rated to 1,500 wheel horsepower is what this clutch is rated to. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. This thing is gonna, if you slick this car up, it's gonna happen. It's not gonna sit there and burn the clutch up. The carbon is replaceable on the flywheel and riveted onto the billet hubs. Pretty trick piece. Again, engineered solely for this project. Now, meaning that the engine goes over 8,000 RPM when you're driving it on the street, we've also put a quick time scatter shield just so you don't chop your feet off if the clutch were to explode. The engine's also equipped with a 4-stage dry sump system. It's all plumbed into this billet oil pan, which we'll show you some details on, and this custom harmonic damper that's got the cog built into the damper itself in the back. It also has a trigger wheel cut into it and a serpentine drive for the accessories. We've changed the resolution almost double on the timing accuracy here. This is the pan that was designed for our 5.4 here, and you can see that this is something very trick, is that all the scavenges are covered. So the only thing, we've taken a keyway cutter and cut out the bottom, so all the crankcase windage is protected on the top here. You've got 5 scavenges, and then your windage screen clicks into the bottom portion of the pan, but it's an all solid cut from a solid billet pan, and it's really a way to make sure you've got oil to the motor, and again, designed for this application. We run a 20-quart system in this car. This is our water junction. This goes underneath the intake manifold and ties all the hot water. The hot water comes into here. This is your dual-stage thermostat from the factory that fits into here. Here is your billet plenum lid right here. Okay, so what we've got here is we've got your fuel rail, and then we've got another fuel rail here. It's a twin injected. The engine runs on 91 octane, which is your primary injector, and then under boost, the computer automatically switches the secondary on, which feeds out of a race gas cell in the car. So you've got your primary tank, and then you've got a race gas cell, and that shoots gas through these injectors, and really makes for a slick piece.